Awesome. We are live. Guys, welcome. Welcome. You're seeing an unfamiliar face today. My name is Dave Bergio. I'm one of the co founders of Trifecta Credit Solutions. Yes, it is me. I'm not Brad. I'm the uglier version, if you want to call it that. But no, it's good to be back. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I'm joined by a guy that you see regularly on here, Mr. Jonathan Federa. Jonathan, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, brother. How's it going?
Good, man. Awesome. Thank you for being on today. So, guys, let's get it started. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys, hey, first quarter of the year, it's over. It's in the books. Quarter of 2022 is done. So, what have you done to better yourself in a world of kind of uncertainty right now? So, one of the things I wanted to talk about today is a lot of questions that I've been getting from our clients as of late is they ask about their kids a lot, and I'm sure we've touched about this before. I know Brad and I have talked about this the last time, probably eons ago that we were on here. But hey, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of some pointers on the kind of help your kids out in the future. And that's one of the big questions we get. How do we get our kids started the right way? A kid turns 18, it's pretty much, hey, they're on their own, kind of build it to start. But one of the things that we like to look for is getting them established as a user on all your accounts already. That's one of the things that we do in our household for our kids, kind of get them set up already. A lot of people kind of like to start off when they're 16 and kind of generate some of those trade lines on there. So that way, by the time they are a legal adult, that you could see that they have a credit report, they have some things going on there, all that back history that you have on those accounts is showing up for them. So you have a 20-year-old account, it's going to help them tremendously. Go ahead, Jonathan. What do you
got? I think that's very important. I also think teaching them that is very important. Hey, this is how credit works. Why do you want to establish good credit history? Well, so you can use other people's money to build your wealth. You can buy a house, you can buy a car. By the way, the price, the cost of the mortgage and the cost of the car is going to be lower as long as you keep your credit scores strong, keep them high, and you understand how credit works. That's why we're doing this. To go one point further and set your kids up for success, and this is something I'm doing. I am teaching them because, listen, let's be real, and this isn't a knock on teachers, but our kids are ill prepared once they graduate high school or even college to get into the workforce and have gainful employment. Okay. They're ill prepared for that. On the flip side of that, they're not learning real skills. They don't know how to balance a checkbook, how not to go negative in the bank. So first off, on the personal side, besides teaching them about credit, you should be teaching them about that. Next, if your kid has an interest in something, figure out a way that you could show him how to build a business around it, even if it's small. I'll give everybody here an example of something I'm doing with my 7-year-old. Okay. He's always said to me, Dad, I want to work like you. I want to work like you. And it's cute, but I also don't want to take away his innocence, right? Because being an entrepreneur is stressful. On the same hand, I want to teach him how to do it because he'll never learn in school. He won't learn in college. So we found something he really likes. He likes 3D printing. Okay. Took him to my buddy Roy's place. He's like one of the biggest distributors of 3D printing. And I said, look at all the things that you can learn how to make and then you can sell. He goes, Dad, this is awesome. I want one. Well, guess what? The cost of one of those 3D printers is like $3,000. And that's like a little to mid-tier one. I'm like, I'll do it. I'll drop the money so we can do this project together. I think it'll be fun. However, I told him you have to, and we got a program. It's called Tinkercad. I said, when you go through this entire program and understand what you're doing, then me and you will work on setting up the business. And by the way, I am not gifting this to you, Jonathan. We're going to talk about you borrowing money to start your business and how you're going to pay it back. Okay. Awesome. So we're actually doing this little pet project. So if anyone needs anything 3D printed, hit me up. Or actually, I'm going to make my son have a business line and he's going to have to field the call eventually. And so we're going to do this project together, right? And that's just as important as helping them understand credit, because if you're teaching your kids these life skills that school is not teaching them, they are going to be way more prepared for the ups and downs of life, and they're going to be productive members of society. Okay. And I think that as a parent is the best thing that you could ever do.
Yeah, that's huge, man. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'll hit you up. I can see your little man there. He's probably going to start his own little toy factory.
Yeah, we always told them on it. We go in there and they got all these Pikachus like 3D printed, So he's like, oh my god! And then they had all the Star Wars stuff, and all he wanted to do was make a lightsaber. I'm like, dude, that's a big task. Program first, then we'll talk about you turning into Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's awesome, man. I'll definitely be your first client, man. He can fill up my son's toy cabinet up for sure, man. But that's awesome, man, and kudos to you, man. Like, to kind of piggyback off of that, yeah. I mean, our kids are looking up to us. If they're not getting this stuff in school, to where really learn important skill sets in life moving forward. I mean, what are they really learning? I mean, I agree with you on that one sense. I gotta be careful what I say because my wife is a teacher. So
here's the thing. This is why I said it's not a knock on teachers.
No, it's not.
It doesn't have a choice.
Right. And my wife totally understands that. I mean, like we have that discussion, she's masters, me, I'm not, I'm school hard knocks guy, you know what I mean? So, it's not, school's not bad. There's just some things it's not for everybody, but there are some things in the educational system that could be better. Teaching them simple stuff, how money works. And, Grant Cardone has that line that we always use in our house, 3 ways to money: get it, keep it, multiply it.
Yep.
And it's a very big deal that where society today it lacks in kids, and take it a step further, credit,
credit, investing, not blowing every dollar you have. That all goes hand in hand. And if you want to produce a high functioning adult and not just another cog in the wheel, which is essentially what our kids are being turned into.
Yes.
Okay. You need to work on these skills. Credit is a massive part of that. One of the biggest things I tell anyone before they start a business: do you have a plan? How much money do you have set aside? Do you have 6 months, 12 months of living expenses set aside? And how's your credit? Because if somebody comes to me and they want to start a business and they have shit credit, you're setting yourself up for failure, because there will be no way to get the help unless you dramatically sacrifice the end game. Meaning you're doing, selling equity, you're taking on partners, and God knows, how that's going to work out. So credit is arguably the biggest piece to having your kid be a functional adult, that and the habits and the understandings that we're going through, right? So if they learn how to budget, if they know how to balance, the bank, if they know how to build a business, if they know how to operate a business, if they know how to use their credit to build wealth, and they understand the mindset and the mentality and of the work ethic of an entrepreneur, what more, right? As a parent, like, how proud would you be? What more can you teach and help your kid accomplish? Okay. Most kids don't know that. When I started a business, I had no idea what I was doing. Zero clue. I had to fail forward fast. What if you took the fail forward fast part out of it for the most part and started working with your kids now and teaching that? And credit is a huge component of that. So this all goes hand in hand. Just how far are you willing to take it? For me, I think you could probably get this up, regardless of what type of business it is, a couple hours a week, right? Because they're still going to be going to school. So they have to figure out how to prioritize. Oh, are they going to go play with their friends, or are they going to put in the hour or 2 hours a day working on this? Right? So it kind of teaches them like how to prioritize and manage their time effectively too. And God knows, really, that's not something you learn in college. I learned how to drink. I learned how to take tests. I learned how to party in college. And I went to what's called the poor man's Ivy League, like Stony Brook. And I graduated with a degree in economics. So I did all right. However, it did not teach me what I needed to operate a business.
Yep, and where you are and where you're at today. Yeah, college. What do you major in? Yeah, party, beer, and girls, I guess.
Yes, 100%. How to chase skirts.
Right? Yeah,
I was really good at that in college.
Yeah. Hey, sorry to spend that money, pops. You know what I mean? Oh man, but to kind of touch on that too, it's also the example that I think that we forget that we're setting, but also people like even our age, they just don't know. They're not
Yes,
there anymore. So it's that's I mean, that's the real pandemic, if you ask me. You're
100%.
teaching those bad habits over and over again. Even if you do make a lot of money. I mean, look, we have some pretty wealthy clients too. They don't know how to manage their stuff. There's quote unquote broke rich people.
Yes.
And that's a big thing. But if you're going to perpetuate those habits, it always starts in the home.
Yep.
What are you teaching your kids? What example are you setting them? So if you are going to take that first step, you got to make sure your shit's in line too.
From a financing perspective, because I see all different types of businesses. Okay, one of the most surprising things that I've noticed, and this is a trend that's going on 14 years, doctors, anyone in the medical field, lawyers, they usually have shit credit. Okay, you know why? They're so busy and they're so in depth in what they do, and they're great doctors and they're making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But the little things sometimes elude them. I can't tell you how many times I have to help doctors that have a 550 or low 600 credit score, and they have the money to pay it. It wasn't done.
Yeah, well, they're good in the medical field, but not good on the business perspective of things.
Right.
So they're missing that skill set.
Yep.
Which is, hey, if you're going to go to college for quote unquote that 7 years to be in that doctor realm, well, that's great if you're learning everything in med school and everything you need to be to do that. But if you're going to go into private practice, what are you doing to get that started? Actually, what can you do? What happens when you see a doctor like that? What do you kind of help them out with on that business perspective?
Man, that's a good question. So not just doctors, anybody that comes in with us, we do a complete 360 review of their business. If I could share my screen, actually I can't because I don't have a demo. I don't have a dummy file, and I don't want to put someone's personal information ever out there. But basically what we do is three things. We do a soft pull on their personal credit. We do a pull on their business credit, and then we take all their banking information and we put that into a cash flow analysis. Okay. In the cash flow analysis, we're showing them. Well, first we go into their personal credit. If they're under 650, I'm sending them to you guys. Okay. Then we go and do the business credit. Okay. Both of our companies offer that, and we work on their business credit. And then we look at their cash flow analysis. What are their monthly deposits? What's their monthly revenue? How much are they keeping in the bank? Were there any negative days? What trends are we seeing? Is it erratic? Then we go into their time of business and we give them a full view of where their business actually stands, what they can do to improve it. And then we go over and discuss what potential options are available just based off that analysis, right? And that now they actually understand their business at a much higher level. And we can work to graduate them into better and better programs, right? We also look at their P&Ls. Like, hey, a lot of business owners want to write things down to zero. I understand that. However, when you're going for an SBA loan and you keep writing everything down to zero, that's going to impact how much somebody can borrow. So this is all part of what we do. And it's just a value add to our clients. And we also look for ways they can save. Like if they're getting destroyed in their payment processing, we do that too. So my only focus is how can we make you make more money? How can we make your business operate at a higher level? How can we make you operate at a higher level? You don't get that when you go to Chase.
Nah, you don't. Good point. Right? That was one of the best pieces of advice my accountant gave me one time because I did it for years, and I think that's huge too. Even for business owners, coming in any business, I want to write off, I want to write this off, I want to slide this under. Oh well, I just went out to dinner, let's slide that under. Everybody's almost trying to zero out, but that was probably one of the best pieces of it. But look, I was guilty of it, for a long time. Like if the laws are there, obviously, yes, you can take advantage of that stuff. And you'll probably catch some hate along the way from, the average Joe because they don't understand that. And this is what we're trying to teach you guys. But the best piece of advice he said, listen, man, you keep zeroing out, like you're broke. Like you're broke on paper. You want some funding. Like who's going to give you 250,000, 500,000 for a loan that you can afford, but this little income tax statement, this P&L statement tells otherwise. How do you
Well,
feel about that?
yeah. Well, here's the other part of that, right? There's ways to do it. Like if you claim at least 45K a year, this is the
Mhm.
number I tell everyone. It's a cheat code. If you're claiming 45K a year for 2 years in a row, you have 680 credit or better. I can get you 350K over 10 years from the SBA. That's a cheat code, and that's not a ton to pay taxes on. Now, on the flip side of that, here's the other thing we didn't. That we're just talking from a money, right, and a financing aspect.
Mhm.
You could have a very successful business, Dave. You know that. But if you're writing everything down to zero, and let's just say you're tired of it, you're tired of helping people with credit repair, and you have a great business, you want to go and sell that business. Guess what? If you are constantly writing it down to zero, that's going to make an impact in the valuation of your company.
100%.
Okay. So there has to be a balance. I'm not telling you not to take the deductions that you are entitled to. You have to understand that when you go and take excessive deductions or you're not showing a clear profit, okay, and obviously there's things called add backs. That's a little bit more advanced. We're not going to get into that here. But when you're doing that, you're actually hurting the value of your company long term. And so anytime you're going to sell a company or have an exit, you need to plan that out 3 years prior. If you don't plan it out 3 years prior and you can't show steady growth, steady profits 3 years prior to an exit, you're not going to get the money you want. That's just facts.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, and a lot of people don't even think about that coming in on the exit strategy. Exit, I think, is also like one of the most important things. And, this is awesome because, yeah, I know we're kind of going all over the place.
Oh, we went on a tangent, man.
But, dude, like this is important, man, because
It is.
whether or not you have a business or not, at the end of the day, when you really think about it, look, we don't know where the world's going to be, but you should, and obviously we could go on a tangent again. You are a business, create yourself as a business. Yeah, you can have your job and stuff like that, but if you really want to get further in uncertain times, these are things and tactics that we're going to teach you, and you guys really need to take this seriously. This is a huge deal, and there's stuff like that I didn't even think about. Like, look, you don't want to be in the doing credit repair and all this stuff forever, so hey, how are we going to get out?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think of the exit strategy. They think of the entry, they think of everything going on, they think of point A to point B, but what is the exit? That's a great point, man. I'm glad you touched on that, because I'm not even thinking of the exit.
I'll tell you this. I didn't get it. For the longest time, I didn't get it. I had to learn it. So this is my fourth brokerage, and I'm not a broker. I'm a marketplace. And every time I've ever started this up, I never started with the intent of an exit. And I'm not saying I'm here to sell integrated. Absolutely not.
Right.
However, I am building the company with the intent to have a very, very high valuation when I want it. Part of that is essentially building a company that doesn't need me. Right? Now my company needs me. Okay. I want to build a company where everything is in place, processes, procedures, education, the marketing, everything is down to a system. And if I want to step away for a month or 2 months or 3 months, it's still going to run the same way. And until you have that, that will also hurt your valuation. So yes, it takes a lot more time and intention to build a business that way. However, when you do, your business is infinitely more marketable, infinitely more valuable. Okay. Your business cannot be you.
No, and a lot of people, man, they forget that especially coming in the business, but hey, in those baby steps, a lot of times it starts with you. That's how you grow. You put these systems in place, and man, you take it from there. But that's powerful, man. That's some very, very powerful insights, man. And even stuff that most people don't think about, even being in business. But man, I'm glad you really touched on that. You touched on going back to doctors and mostly anybody in specialty that's in that position. Lawyers,
cops too, cops and EMT and fire. Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah, man, it's amazing. It's amazing, what you can do. You take some value, learn a little bit of things, and apply that in your daily life. Yeah, nobody's telling you to quit your job or anything like that, but these are just tools and resources to use, not only to help yourself, but yes, the main subject, going back to the kids,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, listen, it starts with you. You can't do anything with your kids and show them that unless you have all your ducks in a row.
100%. I'll tell you this. I would never want my kids to take over this business. Okay. I want my kids to do what makes them happy.
Yep.
I want to build an empire for them. However, they have zero interest in doing that until they see their father do it.
100%, man.
You can't teach what you're not showing. Because if they don't see that, if they don't see your drive, if they don't see your work ethic, if they don't see how you set things up, then all they're doing is just listening to what you're saying, but they can't, it's very hard for them to apply that. So I've been very consistent in what my kids have seen. And because I've done that, they have an interest in what I'm doing. And then I've always said, all right, well, what do you like? Let's base what you want to do around what you really like to do and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, kids are the biggest action sponges. They go by everything that they see doing, not by lip service either. So
Yeah.
see, and it always starts with the home. Look, I think it's safe to say now, athletics and sports, the NFL and all that, like, hey, that's kind of out the window for most people. So when they see what's going on that inside, our kids the same thing. Everything's all led by example. It's funny, you can usually tell that too. Kind of having discussions with the education system. Usually, if a kid's acting up or acting like a jerk, where's he learning that from? Usually, So, but not to get off of a crazy tangent and all that good stuff. But Jonathan, man, that was powerful. You got anything else you want to add today?
No, we're good, man. I think we delivered. The only thing I'm going to ask everyone listening is if you got any type of value out of this, which I'm sure you did, just share. Really share this out. We're doing this for you guys, so please just give this a share, tag people that might need to hear it. That's all we ask.
Yeah, that's all we ask, guys. And thank you for having this not so beautiful face on today. It's been a while since I've been here. Felt good to get back in the saddle. Jonathan, thank you for rocking out with me today, man. I really appreciate the time. Brad, if you're watching, thank you for letting me get the throne here today, man. I appreciate that. So, guys, until next time, please like this. Please share this. Looking forward to you on the next time. Hopefully, I will get on a lot more of these in the near future. Talk to you all soon. Have a great weekend. Be well. Jonathan, good to see you, buddy. Take care.
Likewise, take care.